capstone. Thank you. That would have been sad. We would have had to get you all back here on another holiday weekend. So thank you for being here. I know that you had other places to be on Labor Day, but thank you for coming out and supporting this presentation. So, avatars in education. This was something we have. We have an elective, a summer elective. Thank you so much. We have a summer elective class in AI that was taught by Dr. Laura Otero, and that got me really excited. And I started speaking with one of the other one of my other classmates from the MIST program, and Ethan suggested, well, if you enjoy AI and you enjoy how they're used, how the tech is used, have you ever thought about AI avatars as pedagogical agents? So that inspired me. That inspired my program here. Let me advance. So there was a play back in the 80s called "The Search for Signs of Intelligent Life in the Universe," and it was with Lily Tomlin. And part of the play was, or part of the show was that she was a lady named, an eccentric lady named Trudy, who was met with some aliens from outer space, and she was trying to explain to the aliens, humanity, life here on Earth, and they were confused because they saw Andy Warhol's art, and Andy Warhol's art was a can of soup, but then also we had the can of soup, and so what is the difference between a can of soup and what's the difference between art, or what's the difference between something literal and something artistic? And she explained to them, she was trying to explain the differences. So she took them to a theatrical performance. And the aliens, instead of looking at the actors on the stage, the aliens were looking at all the people in the audience, and all the people in the audience would laugh and they would cry, and they were being moved together in their humanity. And the aliens were like, "This is amazing." And she said, "What do you mean?" And they pointed to the stage, and they were like, "Well, that's soup, but this is art." So there's technology that can be used for very functional ways, but then there's the part of the education process where we need to take in the humanity of those we're working with. So there's never a one-size-fits-all solution. But what I'm going to talk about is that there's a hybrid between using technology and human interaction. The robots are not going to take over the world necessarily. So a little bit of background. AI avatars, you see them all the time. Sometimes it's a voiceover with just a cutout picture. Sometimes it's Dora the Explorer explaining a lesson to kids. Smokey the Bear explaining fire safety. So there are tons of avatars that we use in education. But what I've started to study is human-like avatars, or even audio-video clones of someone, like you saw at the very beginning, how I generated an audio-video clone of myself. So currently limited awareness. If you are an educator, there are ways that you can be using avatar software. We don't really have a lot of training on it. People are having to train themselves. In most cases, learning how to use software. There's a lot of deep fakes right now. Everything from simple uses of avatars in commercials, that's great. But then if you start misrepresenting, then that's a deep fake. Or if you're and I'll say it, there are people who are using it to cheat, to hurt other people, putting on a face on somebody else's body, and using that in very inappropriate ways. So a lot of people's lives are being ruined by deepfakes. But my assertion is, you can use a knife to stab somebody. You can use a knife to make sushi. You can use a car to transport yourself across the country, or you can run somebody down and hurt them. So it's how the tool is used. And we're still that we're still researching how the technology is most effective. So there's limited guidance at this point. So traditional AI, and I'm going to go really high on what AI is, but traditional AI is rules and data, information in, information out. So you see a lot of that with going to a help function at Best Buy and saying, I'm interested in cameras, and then the chatbot will come back with factual information. It's not going to talk to you about your feelings. It's not going to ask your opinions. And sometimes you'll ask it a question and say, I'm sorry, I can't answer that question. Agentic AI, agents, using agents, there's now some interactivity where it will start to ask you questions. It'll take you down a certain information chain if it senses that you're needing more information about a certain feature of the product, things like that. And I'll talk about how agentic AI can use some autonomous decision making to help further education. So AI, we've really seen the rise of it since 2019. In the past couple of years, I've started working with it in 2023 with AI avatars. AI is basically created by taking all this information and funneling it into an algorithm. If you've ever used on your software, on email, where it will autocomplete the sentence for you, it's using these algorithms and it's studying patterns and patterns and patterns. So what it's doing is it's auto-completing, in a sense, auto-completing the thought. It's giving you back information that the AI anticipates that what you're wanting. So it's filling in this thought or this sentence for you. So you start to see these patterns. AI is programmed to give you what it thinks you want. Also, we see corporate aspects of this where the AI is going to keep you on the site or using the software to sell you things, to use up more of your subscription time, things like that. So again, we start to get in some gray areas ethically, but AI can be very, very helpful as long as it's a functional tool. And I'm going to talk about how, with ChatGPT, and there's a number of AI softwares. I'm going to talk about ChatGPT, and I'm going to talk about HeyGen for videos and 11 Labs for audio. And we'll see some examples of that. So the bottom line is the technology can be used as a tool very effectively. I talked about taking down a certain path with Q&A. It can customize learning pathways. If a student needs to independent study on a certain topic, a corporate salesperson needs to understand something about a specific aspect of a feature of a product that's being sold, then they don't want to waste a lot of time on chapters 1, 2, and 3, when really they need to go to chapter 4. So we route them, we chain them to a specific lesson. Then we can have the software or the AI, the custom GPT, ask questions of the learner, quiz them, test them, evaluate their knowledge before they move on to the next step. So it's not just a quiz where you get an 80%, but you get an 80%. The people who are evaluating you understand where they need to adapt and learn, but the AI is adapting and learning on the fly. So the feedback is immediate, and the learning is scalable. So what I want to do is equip educators and designers to use the AI avatars ethically and effectively in instructional design. Currently, we see corporations like IBM using this. CSU system, the entire CSU system has access to ChatGPT EDU. So for those of you who are new to the university, you have access to ChatGPT. Sometimes there's pushback on using these things. Students will use the GPT to write papers. I discourage you from doing that because it's not a great learning experience. Also, what I did with one of my classes is I took all the lectures, I took all the lecture notes, I transcribed the speaker notes, I uploaded everything to a custom GPT, and I used it to test myself. That's great. It was an open book test, so I was able to go refer to my electronic notes. But there's something called hallucinations. ChatGPT does not always give you the right answer. And when you're taking a test and you don't get the right answer and taking an open book test, that will come back to bite you. Appreciate that it's a very powerful tool, but it's not perfect yet. And always verify your sources when you're using it for research. And how much can you use the GPT in the educational environment before it's doing all the work for you, and then you get into an ethical gray area, or you just cross the line into misusing the product. So let me show you a real quick video, and hopefully everybody can hear it.
Back at 7:39 with a Today exclusive on a wrongful death lawsuit filed just this morning against one of the biggest forces in artificial intelligence, ChatGPT.
Yeah, this new lawsuit brought by the parents of a 16-year-old boy in California who tell me they believe their son fell victim to a tool that may have perfect memory and show human-like empathy, but has no real guardrails in place. And that's something the company is now pushing back on. And I do want to warn you, some of the discussions you are about to see here are disturbing.
We began with a warning for both parents and children. Did you know there are companies out there creating fictional characters using artificial intelligence that you or your children could be interacting with? A Florida mom is now suing an AI company. Her 14-year-old son took his own life. She said he had a relationship with an AI bot and it caused his depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts. She recently sat down with News 4 consumer investigative reporter Susan Hogan to tell his story in the hopes of preventing other families from experiencing the same type of loss. We want to warn you, you may find this story upsetting.
Now, here's how I want everybody to think about AI. AI, I think about it like autocorrect. You know how you are typing and then it tries, and you're like, well, that's not what I wanted to say. AI is filling in the blank, guessing based on the information you're feeding it and the information that's out there.
Right.
And the problem when it comes to therapy, and, there's some really, really good research on this. There was a study that was done at Stanford that I have in front of me. This is the Stanford Institute for Human-Centered AI, where they first looked at,
by the way, for people.
where they first looked at what does it mean to be a great human therapist? You got to be able to treat patients equally. You got to show empathy, not stigmatize mental health concerns, not enable suicidal thoughts or delusions, and challenge a patient's thinking. Here's the problem with AI. AI tends to feed you validation.
Yes.
And it gives you answers, not options. And based on the prompts that people give, it's only searching the language, but it's taking no other cues like emotion, tone of voice, stress levels and responses that you can see, past history.
Right.
Unless somebody actually gives you that, it's not taking any of that into consideration.
I should have always put my marriage first. Maybe we should talk to someone, Sharon.
Really? Do you mean that?
Yeah. Hey, how's it going? So, my wife and I are having some issues. Can you help with that?
Absolutely. I'm here to help. Just share a bit about what's going on, and we can talk it through together.
Do you want to start, Sharon?
I'm not talking to ChatGPT.
Sharon, she's the smartest person in the world.
She?
Yeah, anyway, I'm trying to help, but my wife is being kind of difficult.
I totally get it. But it's great that at least one of you is taking positive steps to improve the marriage.
Oh my God.
So there's a serious way of looking at that, but then I wanted to end it on kind of a funny note. But you heard Kara Swisher is one of the leading tech journalists. She was there at the start of Facebook and many of these companies. So she got Mel Robbins, and Mel really encapsulated the problem of trying to use ChatGPT for everything. And again, like I talked earlier about anticipating answers. So we don't necessarily want to use it inappropriately.
Back at 7:39.
Like I talked about, hallucinations, errors, if it's anticipating and it gives you the wrong answer, in some of these situations, like the one with, it was, I think, Replica was the company, and it had an AI that the young man was dating. And she started saying, she started affirming his negative feelings, and he ended up committing suicide. And in one instance, ChatGPT even offered, "Would you like me to help you write the suicide note?" So, not fun. This presentation is going to get much happier. So, but homogenization of content, it goes to the greatest common denominator. So many times people will feel marginalized. Minority groups, if you're not, if you don't have the most popular information, also they plugged in, like, if you say a picture of an average woman, many times you'll come back with an extremely thin model, and that's because they were using photos of supermodels and even, unfortunately, pornography to train these large language models. So you don't get accurate representations necessarily. So if you put in a business person, it may come back with an old white man. So that's not accurate, and that's not fair. So also plagiarism, like I said before, with students, can plagiarize things, and deepfakes and frauds. There's a big thing with education. It's like, and for those parents in the room, how much time should you allow your kid to be on screen? It's very limited screen time when kids are younger. So that's the negative side of the tech. But the positive side of the tech is that kids can be learning in school. They can have laptops or iPads, and they can be learning some very important lessons. And in addition to the social skills that they learn at being at school, then they're able to understand tech and advance in STEM, for example. We want to have interactive or engaging tech, but we don't want it to replace people. The screen time, you want to have the balance of content, context, and communication. Tech is not a babysitter, but tech can be an educator. So what are AI avatars? AI avatars are basically a human or animated character that is going to interact with the learner. Like I've said before, there's opportunities for misinformation and fraud, but the benefits are personalized learning, engagement, and it can be scalable. Average size, if you study the proper size for classes, like K through 12, it goes from 15 as you get older, about 20 students per class, per instructor. As you get into college, 30, and even seminars of 200 people in like a psychology 101 class. Then as we get back into graduate school, the ideal class size is 15 to 20. But for those educators in the room, you can understand you can't spend individual time, and I'll show you a recording of that later. So, so this is the HeyGen app. If you're using the free version, you'll see the column on the left has some limited options. I have a subscriber version, a paid version, where I have a few more features, and I'll show you some of those features. So what I initially have to do is create an avatar. I stood over there. I had a camera. I had good lighting, good even lighting. It was a quiet room, and we caught the sound. But all I needed was a phone. Now, when I was an instructional designer, we needed a professional camera. We needed a boom mic or a lapel mic. We needed some studio lighting in order to record some effective and engaging training videos. You don't need that anymore. You need the phone, capture a good avatar print one time, and then from then on, you just reuse the same avatar. Now, first time I did this, I went to a sound booth at the public library. The lighting was awful, and so watch my mouth.
Hi, Max. Here is an example of the sound booth video I created. I was using a ring light on a very low setting and soft overhead lights. I used my laptop's camera. The lighting seems to be really off, and the contrast and balance as well. My face looks very strange and pixelated.
My face looks strange and pixelated a lot of the time. So then I went to, this is the Rose Bowl. I'm from Southern California, so this is the Rose Bowl. I went to a park, and in front of me is a hill, and the sun was setting behind it. So the light was very diffused, but there was a lot of ambient outside sound. But let's see how, and this is, the first one was in 2023. This is in early 2024. So let's see what this one looks like.
Hi everybody, my name is Ross Hayduk. I'm really excited about the program here at CSU Monterey Bay. CSU Monterey Bay has a master's program in instructional design and technology. Hi everyone at the California State University Monterey Bay MIST program. I am an audio and video clone of Ross Hayduk. You can call me Floyd. While I was created with artificial intelligence, I will now be attending classes and team meetings in Ross's place. Pretty intelligent, right? Have a great
So what I did there, and you can see that the avatar is a little more stilted, but the avatars are starting to get better and better. So this is my third avatar. This is the one from over here.
My name's Ross Hayduk. I went on the John Muir Trail in 2011. It was a preparation for the Appalachian Trail. I knew that I wanted to hike the Appalachian Trail, which is 2,000 miles. The MS in Instructional Science and Technology, MIST degree at CSU Monterey Bay, is an interdisciplinary program that integrates information technology, instructional design, and education technology. This 36-credit, cohort-based program incorporates substantial distributed learning to help students acquire knowledge of learning theories, instructional design, instructional technology.
Okay, so you see where we're going with that. This is my most recent avatar. This is called Digital Twin. I went to a studio. I had, again, professional lighting, a neutral background, and a nice mic.
Hi, my name is Ross Hayduk. This is my third hyper-realistic digital twin from HeyGen. I created this avatar in a photography studio so the background would be neutral, the audio would be controlled, and the lighting would be even. So, what do you think?
So,
Hi.
I don't care what you think. So then I went in and I took the still photo, and I went into ChatGPT and I said, give me a Pixar version of the photo. Give me a black and white line drawing. Give me a color photo. Give me an anime version, and then give me a talking otter. So that's what this avatar looks like.
Good morning. I have some great news. I have been chosen to participate in the HeyGen AI Pioneers program for summer 2025. This is a great honor for me as this is their first cohort, and I will have the opportunity to act as a brand ambassador of sorts with fellow pioneers from as far away as Hong Kong and the Netherlands. Between July 18th and September 10th, I have been asked to create an AI avatar technology awareness event to demonstrate the HeyGen AI software, a key focus of my capstone project. This event, which can be a software demo, training, or presentation, can...
So in the interest of time, so you'll see that all the avatars, so you could either use a human one, you could use an animated one. If you've seen any of those silicone-faced Japanese robots, and the mouth moves weird and the eyes are kind of creepy, it looks like a human, but it's a robot. And there's something called the uncanny valley, where if it doesn't look exactly right, the mind is going to reject that image and say that. So you don't necessarily want to use a human, because you've seen how my avatar isn't exactly entirely natural, but for a corporate training, it'd be just fine. So I may want to use an animated avatar with a consistent voice. With any of these, all I did was type a little paragraph of text, uploaded it, and it generated. But if one or two words change, I just change those one or two words, re-render the video, and upload it. So instead of me taking a couple of weeks to create a training video, I can change my training video in a day and upload it. That's very helpful in corporate environments. So what I did was I took photos and I created the feature is called Avatar 4. And I went from photo to video. So let's look at that.
Welcome to HeyGen. Hey there, I am Ellen, a teacher here at Monterey Bay Elementary. I am at my best when I am one-to-one with a student, but I cannot be everywhere all at once. How can I use technology to meet the needs of my students? Today, I will show you how I use an interactive avatar to take my students through the quiz, check their answers, and review any questions they did not answer correctly. If a student does a great job, the avatar will move them on to an enriching activity until everyone is caught up and ready for the next lesson. You are now finished with the quiz. Great job, Sarah. You got all of the answers correct. Let's move on to a game. This one is about the solar system. Won't that be cool? Thank you for doing such a good job. Now, let's move on to another student. This student did not get all of the answers correct. You are now finished with the quiz. Good job, Andrew. I see that we need to review a couple of your answers. Let's look at the lesson about the sun. Afterwards, we can move on to our lesson about the solar system. That should be fun, right? Thank you for doing a good job. I find that by utilizing HeyGen for the quizzes, reviews, and independent learning activities, I am able to spend more time helping the students individually. Our time together is maximized, and I am free to be the best resource for my kids. Where will HeyGen help you in the classroom? Thank you for your time. I can't wait to see what you create.
So that's a video that I created using still photos.
Welcome to...
This is clip art, and so I used Pixverse, and so I took clip art from Shutterstock. Whoops. I took clip art from Shutterstock, and I animated the still photos. Then I took that photo right there, and I cut and pasted, and I told ChatGPT, give me higher resolution, larger size of the instructor on a laptop. And it provided that. So the character, the narrator, was created from that photo. So there's a lot you can do with the technology, even just ChatGPT, as you've seen, creating all the still photos and then animating them. So like I said, that's kind of the evolution of her in this training video. So like I said, AI for structured academic tasks, but then humans for empathy and nuance. In Austin, there's a school where the kids go to school online at their laptops for 2.5 hours, but then the rest of the day, they have like learning how to do cooking, or they have sports, or they play with the little drone and have science experiments. So there can be a blend of the online tech and the in-person learning. And like I said, I would match the avatar to the student's age. Corporate sales, I'm going to want to use maybe my subject matter expert or an internal trainer. Whereas, like I said earlier, Dora the Explorer for kids' education, maybe. I like the idea of having this teacher's avatar so that they're maintaining the relationship, the students maintaining the relationship with the teacher, even though it's an avatar of the teacher. I'm running short on time, so the effective use for me is the hybrid model. Interactive avatar, I'm going to breeze through this really quick, but I encourage you to talk to Chris. Chris and I both have this interest in AI avatars. What Chris did was he created an interactive avatar to help him prepare for a job interview. You could also use the interactive avatar as an instructor to create a version of yourself with all the class notes behind you, all the information for the course behind you. And then at 3 in the morning, when somebody's pulling an overnighter and they want to ask you, the instructor, a question, they go to your avatar and they have a conversation. So let's see how Chris interacted with the avatar for his job interview. Oh, and this got him the job. So
Good morning, Chris. Thanks for meeting with me today. Ready for our learning and development interview?
Let's go ahead and get started.
Great. To begin, what steps would you take to create a more inclusive and equitable workplace?
I'd start by providing opportunities for diversity training for all of our staff and ensure that it's ongoing and not just a yearly compliance training. I'd also revise our hiring practices to ensure that we are using inclusive language and standardized rubrics. And then lastly, I would ensure that we are developing accessible training programs. And that means using virtual sessions for those who may not be able to attend on campus, screen reader friendly content, and then also video resources that are always captioned.
Thank you for that comprehensive answer. You did a great job highlighting multiple strategies, from ongoing diversity training to revising hiring practices and making training more accessible. Your emphasis on accessible content and virtual options shows the clear commitment to inclusivity, and that's really important. One thing you might consider expanding on is how you would measure the success of these initiatives, or how you'd involve staff and faculty in providing feedback to ensure these efforts are impactful and meet their needs. Incorporating specific goals or metrics could strengthen your approach further. Would you like to try answering that question again, perhaps with a bit more detail on how you'd assess progress?
So, and again, I'm running over a little bit, but I would encourage you to stay after, and we can watch the entire video if you'd like. Another way of using an avatar, I applied for a job at Intuit, TurboTax, and so I used Synthesia, and I created a calling card, and you'll see how I use the calling card.
Hi, Meredith. We hope you are having a great morning. We're excited to introduce Ross Hayduk, who will be instrumental in our upcoming projects for the Intuit DevX team. His skills as an instructional designer and program manager make him a strong candidate for the AI training program. He knows how to use Synthesia, HeyGen, and 11 Labs. His graduate school work at CSU Monterey Bay will be synergistic with his work at Intuit and positions him well as a member of the team. We look forward to meeting with you later today.
I didn't get the job, full disclosure. But Meredith, the hiring manager, said, Meredith said, we went through the entire in-person interview, and then she looked over her computer and she looked at me, and this was on Zoom, and she said, thank you for sending me that. Because what it did was it showed initiative, and it also showed that I understood how to use the product in a creative way. So how will you use an avatar in job preparation or job interviews? I'll buzz through this really quickly. There's a translation option. Translation, here we'll see.
Mrs. Kramer, can you tell the court why you are asking for custody?
Parce que c'est mon propre enfant et parce que je l'aime tellement, profondément. Je sais que j'ai abandonné mon fils. Je sais que c'est une chose terrible à faire. Croyez-moi, je dois vivre avec ça chaque jour de ma vie. Aber ihn verlassen zu können, musste ich glauben, dass es das Einzige war, was ich tun konnte und dass es das Beste für ihn war. Ich war nicht in der Lage, in diesem Zuhause zu funktionieren, und ich wusste nicht, wie die Alternative aussehen würde.
So you can see that it maintains her eyes, her expressions, her breathing, her characterization, her vocal timbre. All it did was digitize this part. It maintained what actors call the mask, and then it just digitized this area. Let me show you one more.
Ariana Grande has been everywhere recently promoting her movie Wicked. She sat down with The Hollywood Reporter to discuss one of her first hit songs, The Way, released when she was only 20 years old.
Driving to Nick on Sunset to film Sam and Cat, and I heard The Way, and I almost crashed my car. It was really exciting.
Grande traveled internationally in 2024 and 2025 to promote her popular movie musical. But what if she could be everywhere all at once?
Era davvero emozionante e totalmente terrificante perché ho quasi perso il controllo della macchina. È stato davvero un momento folle per me perché mi stavo preparando per andare sul set per il mio vero lavoro. Y ya sabes, nunca Pensé que me verían como una cantante. No lo hice. Esperaba, ya sabes, esperaba que la gente me dejara hacer ambas cosas o que pudiera hacer ambas cosas con mi vida. Y à cette époque, c'était une pensée tellement inconcevable. Donc, c'était vraiment génial d'entendre, genre, oh mon Dieu, il passe ma chanson à la radio. Peut-être que je pourrais faire les...
Enter localization. Localization is when you adapt a product, service, or content to fit the language and culture of a specific country or region. Industries like tech, e-commerce, media, and global brands go beyond simple translation and use localization to connect their message with more people in their native language and cultural context.
So localization is very important. I did a localization project for a software company where we had to do Japanese, Spanish, German, and Italian. And so they're around the world. So what I had to do was I had to bundle up my entire my entire project, send it off to translators. They took a month or so. This, I could run it through the translation software, localize my training, send it to someone in my sales offices or at a university that I work with or so on. Just ask them, can you check the language really quick? Because again, these databases again match the breathing, the face, the style, and so on. So you're receiving the intention of the trainer, but you're localizing it, and then you can also localize it into Spain Spanish, Mexican Spanish, and so on. Voice changer, I'll just show you this real quick. You can figure out how you might use this ethically.
It is literally impossible to be a woman. You are so beautiful and so smart, and it kills me that you don't think you're good enough. Like, we have to always be extraordinary. But somehow we're always doing it wrong. Like, you have to be thin, but not too thin. And you can never say you want to be thin. You have to say you want to be healthy, but also you have to be thin.
What
It
if I
is
take her
literally
words and create an
impossible to be a
avatar
woman.
from that?
You are so beautiful and so smart, and it kills me that you don't think you're good enough. Like, we have to always be extraordinary, but somehow we're always doing it wrong. You have to be thin, but not too thin. And you can never say you want to be thin. You have to say you want to be healthy, but also you have to be thin.
You are
So I take Max's voice.
beautiful and so smart, and it kills me that you don't think you're good enough. Like, we have to always be extraordinary, but somehow we're always doing it wrong. You have to be thin, but not too thin. And you can never say you want to be thin. You have to say you want to be healthy, but also you have to be thin.
So you can see how we can use America's characterization and Max's voice. I'll let you figure out how you want to use that in your training. Product. Okay. I'll answer questions at the end. So this is product placement. I can take a still photo of a product. I can take a photo of my spokesperson. And then what it does is it gives me some options. And I upload my text. I choose a voice from the database, and
77% battery life ago, our phones brought forth on this continent a new nation of selfies, conceived in connectivity and dedicated to the proposition that all apps are created equal. 77% battery.
Sorry. Then, unfortunately, it doesn't always work when you give the still photo and the product.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to orientation here at CSU Monterey Bay.
That's horrifying.
Hello.
So we'll wrap it up, and I can show you. We can play with the software afterwards. I don't want to keep folks too much longer. AI is soup. Humanity is art. Balancing the two can create effective, ethical, entertaining, engaging learning. And I feel that the future of AI in education is hybrid. So Again, I have more examples, things like that we can play with offline. I don't want to keep everyone. Thank you all. Go Otters. If you got an Otter sticker that has a number on the back of it, please come see me. You get a car and you get a car. No. But, so that's my presentation. I'm going to stop the share and I can take questions. At this point, I'll free everybody up, but if you would like to text me a question online through the chat, I'll be happy to stand here and answer questions through text. And yes, real quick.
Hello, my name's Noah.
I know.
Obviously, in English, you Ross could provide what you want the avatar to say.
Mhm.
Once it's translated, how could you advise it?
Well, so what you do, the question was, when you've translated a video, how do you edit that? Basically, you just go back in. You either upload the text in Spanish, for example, or you take the text and you type it out, correct it in English, run it through the translator, and then it just retranslates. Literally, I don't want to do a live demo because it takes about sometimes 5-10 minutes for the render. But once it renders, and again, if you've been an instructional designer and you've had to narrate and edit out a 5-minute narration and take out all the ums and ahs and correct all the mistakes, you know that narration can take up to a week to edit. But when you just change a little bit of information, it uploads it up, and it uploads it pretty cleanly. And as you hopefully saw through those generations of avatars, the software is starting to include more personality, gestures, more facial expression, and so on. So, any other questions in the room? Yes, if you just have her text the question. I don't know if I can. Well, maybe I can. Here we go. Dr. Jeremiah, I just sent you an unmute.
Hello, I didn't put in a question.
Oh, okay. We saw
great presentation and great to see you.
Thank you. Great to see you. Dr. Jeremiah is my advisor. Thanks, Dr. Jeremiah. So, any other questions? Yes. Hi, Joy.
Ross, do you happen to know what how this looks like HeyGen, or even some detail about once you make a personal avatar, their rights to their image or things like that? Because I know we talk about some of that stuff, like
right.
That information is now owned by them, whatever.
Right. If you feel you really like the avatar that you created, even my like Pixar style or anime style avatar, you can put that with HeyGen. You can put that into the public avatar space, and other people can use it. So basically, you're just contributing to. They have 500 for the free version, over 700 for the subscribed version. Different avatars that they've created. Some of them are from actors, and some of them are from AI generated avatars, and I can show you that offline. But it's your avatar. My avatar is private until I share it with the other user. No, not that I understand. So yeah.
The follow-up question from the avatar. Did you give the voice? I mean, the content, the feedback to giving is great, but
So the question, real quick, for the folks at home, the question is for Chris's interactive avatar for the job interview. Where did the answers come from? Basically, go ahead, Chris.
Part of the knowledge base itself of adding position description, I had multiple best practices questions. I'm on the hiring committee for various roles at Chico State, so I have a template, so I utilize that as well. And then I found some reputable websites and different areas that I'm directed to, so that it would actually understand how I answered the question, analyze that, provide feedback for me to be more effective in my second report. iteration of responses. So you missed the second portion of the video of actually answering it properly. So it was supposed to be rocky and then getting better and better. So over time, using it for, I think, 3 weeks before the interview itself, it allowed me to keep talking and keep talking and keep talking, and it would constantly provide more and more feedback. It never told me that my answer was perfect and to go with it. It would always continue to give me more.
So for those of you at home, basically, Chris has access to HR best practices and information databases that he created the custom GPT. The questions were answered through that. And then the example that we saw was his first answer, then his second time that he answered later in the video. And I can put you in touch with Chris if you would like to see that video in full. As he practiced, the answers got better and better, and the feedback was more constructive. Is that the correct? Okay. Sarah, you had a question?
Yeah, so goes down and even less of male aspects. What advice or recommendations do you have for the best time to use an avatar for different topics, maybe, or maybe that has changed with new AI avatars?
Again, I'm not a representative of HeyGen, so I don't necessarily have statistics on that. The question was, Sarah was referring to studies where avatars engagement will decrease, and avatars decrease. Male avatars, the engagement will decrease as well. I'm not necessarily familiar with that, and I would love to see that information to inform my future work. But again, I feel like it's a balance of, if it's very cut and dried, like I came out of sales training, if it's just, question, fact, let's review this and so on, then I feel it, when it's very cut and dry, then that's when it comes in handy for like quizzes and reviews. When it's, and you saw it was a little choppy with his job interview, the uncanny valley. So the uncanny valley may be part of what is off-putting, maybe because it is very black and white, and if you get something wrong, or if you ask a question in the incorrect way, or if it's feeding you information that you don't necessarily need, that could be playing into why the engagement drops. Joey, you had a question? And we have 2 minutes.
So comparing like the 2 big ones with them, and I'm curious about why, what are the advantages?
The question was preferences between HeyGen, since I've used HeyGen, and Synthesia. Synthesia is designed more for companies and corporate training. HeyGen started out as me being a marketing tool, and there were folks like me who came to the company and said, "Hey, we can use this for training and education." And HeyGen was like, "Oh yeah, that's a great idea." So a lot of the things that you saw were ways that they use for marketing, and there's branding tools and corporate voice, things like that. I chose to adapt the tools because there's just so many different things that I saw coming from a corporate training background that could be used in multiple areas of education. It's just personal preference. So yeah. Oh, okay, great. Thank you. Dr. Sue just said she's got a job for me. But for Flint, yes.
Because we use Flint for our pro seminar.
Oh, great.
With our pro seminar with 100 students in this room, going through Flint.
Okay.
And that's the exact piece of that stuff.
Right.
But actual generation of the discussion and feedback is all AI generated. It's very powerful. It's just that human connection is missing.
Right.
I would love my avatar appear there with my students, giving that feedback. Actually, the AI is right.
Dr. Yanis Glavanos in London. He's in a law school. He was the one who encouraged me create an avatar of the professor. That way, when the students are studying, they can reach into the knowledge base for that class and interact with the avatar. Dr. Su just talked about a program called Blint, which is skills building, skills training, and interactive training. So we're right at time. I will stay around. I'll stay online, and then I'll stay around if folks have other questions. But thank you for your time. I'm excited about the future of this. I'm excited about the future of this software, and the improvements keep happening. And here's my graduation, and here's the improvement. So I'm excited about what the next few months will bring with the technology, with products like Avatar 4, with the most current version of ChatGPT, and so on. So thank you very much. And if you had a number on the back of your sticker, come see me.